What's going on, people? I want to do a quick video, how-to video here, give you a quick tip that I just learned. Now, I read this off of a forum, so shout out whoever posted this. I don't know your name, and I really don't feel like looking it back up and all that stuff, but if you are watching, then leave a comment, and don't try to lie either, man. We'll look you up after you leave a comment. Anyway, some of the problems that a lot of people have, especially the beginners, some advanced people have the same problem, is keeping plants down, bunch plants. Because when you buy bunch plants, these have been in the tank for a while, so that's why they have established roots. But try to find one without roots here. Like this one. See, that one doesn't have any roots. So when you plant it, I don't care how deep your substrate is. It could be a foot deep. Well, dang, I'm over-exaggerating, but if you plant that in there, even with tweezers, it's just going to float right back up because there's nothing holding it down. When you plant it, it might not float up, but as soon as a fish floats by, it's going to float right back up. It's going to have to dig it back down, and, when you push so hard, you risk breaking it, and if you have roots, and you're screwed. And then you might say, well, let me just use a weight. So you wrap this big thing. Even if you cut it in half, you're still going to have problems. You cut this thing, let's just say you cut it in half, right? Let me see if I have a half down here. Let's see, is it a half? This is a half here. So, shit. Okay, no, wait, this is a half. This is a half. Okay, I'm not going to unravel it. You do this, you put it on there. That's a lot of band for that. Okay? And so that's why this is what I do. Well, now I've started to do it. This is my first time doing it, but I wanted to learn as you go, let you guys know. What I do is you cut it into like a horseshoe here. Damn, it's storming. I don't know if you just heard that, but cut it into a horseshoe, and it's super small for one stem, just like this. So you take a band, right? You cut it, flatten it out. You cut it right down the middle, as straight as you can. Doesn't matter if it's not straight. It's as straight as you can. And then what you do from there is you cut that in half. So now you have two separate pieces. And then you cut those two in half. And then you'll get pieces that look like this. This is all one band right here. And plus that one over there. This is all one band. It's perfect. This one's a little big. I might cut that in half. But you want pieces like this. Perfect. This. Perfect. So you want to cut it as thin as possible. Then you throw it on here like this as a shoehorn. And the difference is, rather than a circle, you have a lot of space in there. So it's not squishing your stem. You tighten it on the outside here, so it's not real, tight on the stem to cut off nutrients. So this is what it looks like. You want it to be just like this. So you can slide it without pulling on it. See how you can kind of move it there? You can move it up and down. That's what you want. You don't want it to be so tight where you can't move this. But you want it to be tight enough so that your plant can't come up. And then you get tweezers or something like this, whatever. Or you could just even use your hands, but I definitely recommend using tweezers because they can penetrate the They can penetrate the gravel and the substrate better. You can get it real deep down to the glass. So now what you can do is another tip for you. Hopefully my camera doesn't die. But let's say you don't have any roots on it. You just bought it. You can do this trick. Put it in there, and then once in about 2.5, 2.5 weeks or so, check it, uproot it, check to see if it has roots, take this off if it does, and then replant it. So there's no need for this because you have roots that'll act as an anchor in there. Now another trick you can do is that you can leave. You know how I always say to propagate your plants, you have to take the bottom, let's say this is brand new, no roots, and there's stems coming off here, plants and stuff. I say take those off. Or you can actually leave those on and bury them underneath the substrate, and that'll actually act as an anchor, which is actually a really good idea and a really good way to do it if if this way starts to rot the bottom of your plants, which I don't think it will, but I don't know. I'm gonna give it a shot, and might do both actually, because whenever these plants are underneath, it's not gonna allow that plant to float up. Now those leaves and stems will decay and rot eventually, but by that time the idea is it'll have roots already, so they're, those can evaporate, or not evaporate, but rot and go away, and you'll get it, by water changes and whatever, and the roots will be able to act as an anchor and hold it down. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of these, you guys over here, and I'll check back later, guys. Peace. Alright, so I did them, all the horseshoes, and I planted them all. Did all this Ludwigia over here. It's about however many stems I showed you, and then I got 2 of the magenta right back there. Did those, and also did 1 of the Ludwigia hybrid, and I also did 1 of the moneywort that was floated up a few days ago. Oh, it's right. You guys can't really see me, so I can zoom in. There's the moneywort right there. There's the hybrid. There's the 2 magentas. There's all the Ludwigia. Anyway, guys, for the first time, for me doing this for the first time, I just read at work on my break. I was bored. I wanted to see what people were doing, as like kind of like a DIY type trick or whatever. Tricks and all that. It's still raining. Just as far as what they do to keep their plants down, and the bunch plants, and I came across that, and I figured, I wanted to give it a shot, and surprisingly, they planted really, really well. I was really surprised. First thing you're gonna notice is whenever you do your little horseshoes and you throw them in the tank, is they don't sink to the bottom. How big it depends. Also, it kind of depends on how big you cut the horseshoe, but and also how big your plant is that you're planting or you're trimming or whatever. The Ludwigia, like 2 out of all of them, I want to say it was like 8 of them or 9 of them. 2 of them floated, or 2 of them sunk down because those are the little ones, but the bigger ones did not, which isn't a big deal. I mean, that's not the point of this, guys. The point of it is to work as an anchor so it won't float up. You want it to get caught on the rocks. Looks like an anchor would, That's the best way to describe it. And then once, a couple weeks, whatever, you can check and see if they have roots, and if they do, take off the thing. And if you're careful enough and you're good enough, you can do it. You could do it without uprooting them, depending on how high you put the anchor. I might be able to. I'll give it a shot. I'll probably do a video when I do. Or you could just leave it on. I mean, we made them small enough to where it shouldn't cause much of an issue. And as long as you didn't pinch the plant, which is really important, then you shouldn't have an issue. It's not going to cut off any circulation, any nutrients, nothing like that. So we will see. And also, if you don't like that, you can try the stem trick that I spoke of in the beginning of the video. Just leave the bottom stems and use those as an anchor. You can do either one. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you guys have learned something. Maybe you're having the same trick. Turns out it's more popular than you think. Everyone has that issue at first, or at one point. So let me know if you guys tried it, or maybe you guys have different ways. Let me know in the comments. Alright, peace out, God bless, stay wet.